And then this is Harriet Tubman. This is her costume. Oh, yes. Again, it's a breakaway skirt. And I think I found a picture of Harriet Tubman with something like this on.
We did, and it was, and she had the stripes.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the stripes.
Yeah. I'm an actor, and that's what we do. We act. We tell stories. And like I said, these women need to be brought back to the forefront of history for what they did.
God loves you. That's where your dignity comes from, not from who you are, what you do.
They didn't know me. They didn't know my work. They made up stories. They said I was doing blackface. They said, how dare I portray a black woman? How would I know what a black woman would feel? As a storyteller, am I then prohibited from portraying a terminally ill patient if I'm not terminally ill? Can we stop for a minute?
Of course.
I wanted to write about people whose lives could inspire and invigorate and illuminate for us the indomitable human spirit. I did not take into consideration their station in life, their gender, or the color of their skin.
She just transforms into these people. She disappears completely.
What a mess I was in. Well, there I was, all alone. The world will always have causes worth fighting for. No lack of personal wrongs to right either. I should know. I had my share of both.
And it's just the most amazing thing to see people just engage. It's the way she brings you in, and you can't help but want to get closer and closer to the story.
And when someone starts sobbing in the audience, I'm just, yes, I connected with them. It's just an incredible feeling. It really is.
She was asked to perform her characters at the Rancho Santa Fe branch of the San Diego Library System, and the characters that they asked her to perform were Harriet Tubman, Harriet Beecher Stowe, and Mary McLeod Bethune.
And so we wrote the contract, and I agreed to perform in March. A couple of weeks before the performance and all the publicity had gone out and everything, and I got a call from the centralized management of the library system. They asked me to change my characters. And I said, why? They said, because two of the characters are black and you're white, and we don't think that's appropriate. We think it's a little bit offensive. And I said, oh, no, you don't understand. I'm honoring these women. She said it didn't matter. You mean I can only portray women of honor and courage and integrity if they're white? And she said, that's about it. And there was no more conversation.
You can only perform characters that look like you or think like you, and the whole point of acting is to take on new characters and to learn new cultures and new things.
That's what storytelling is all about.
My personal belief is race is an anachronistic criterion that should be relegated to the dustbin of history, and that race has no business either in government decision-making or decision-making writ large.
We are all humans, aren't we? And we have a shared humanity. And so we want to find the things that unite us, not the things that divide us.
When the library system refused to honor their contract that they signed with Annette, she decided to take legal action. She brought a lawsuit challenging their decision to cancel her contract on the basis of race.
And I came to see that this is really basic, and it's about how we relate to each other.
Anybody who treats someone differently because of race or skin color or ethnicity is committing a moral wrong, and we should get rid of that in society.
What is it that brings us together? We share hope and dreams and heartache and troubles, but how do we get through them? A month ago, I was diagnosed with something called anaplastic thyroid cancer. I'd never even heard of it. It's very rare and it's very aggressive. I've had some doctors tell me I have 3 months. I've had other doctors, and I'm going with those doctors, who tell me I could have 5 years. So the perspective it's given me, I'm not afraid.
Take a deep breath.
Don't be sorry for me.
Am I ever sorry for you?
Yeah, go away. Go away.
Take a deep breath.
I'm not afraid. I know that God has a purpose and a plan.
Well, after we filed suit, the county realized the error of its ways. It offered to settle our lawsuit, and as part of that settlement, it allows Annette to perform the play as she originally intended it to be performed.
I think if everybody sought to make a difference, small or large, in somebody else's life, we advance our shared humanity one step at a time.
To hear Annette's story and what she went through and know what type of person she is, it's inspiring. It makes me want to do the job.
And it leads you to believe that you can do something good too in this world. And that's the amazing part, is you're like, well, I could do that.
I do want to make a difference. And what does the color of the skin matter?
I'm beyond proud of my friend.
How's that for the role of a lifetime? Or perhaps I should say, the role for a lifetime. I'd be the first to tell you, it's not where you start, it's where you end. With those final words, I bid my earthly farewell.
We all have a story to tell, don't we? We're so polarized. We need to remember what people went through and how they got through it. And storytelling connects us. It grabs our emotions.
We're going to lose that if we say that only certain people can tell certain stories.